What up, beautiful believers? So, got into the scroll, got into some information that may have some people a little worried or weary or scared, or may some people may not even know. I just find it very interesting about the revelation that God is giving, and how the Bible's words are just coming to life in front of our eyes. So, there's a lot of talk about what happened with Ukraine and Russia, how it may impact the United States, things like that. I have an unbelievable, I have a feeling of peace. I mean, I understand that God is in control. I understand that nothing is out of his control. He has not lost control. He has not forgotten. He is not seeing. He still knows the end. So I'm just trusting in the Lord. But it very much made me think, and I wanted to come on and say this, of Matthew 24, 4, and I'm going to say 4 through 8. And it says, Jesus answered them, "Be careful, do not let anyone make you believe lies." And we have been told a lot of lies, and people have just been believing the lies. So Jesus is saying, um, be careful. And if I pull it up, I'm actually looking at my Easy English commentary online, but this is in my red Bible. So remember, these red letters are the words that Jesus said. So don't let them, in the red letter, it says, do not let them mislead you. So don't be misled. You guys are being misled by a lot of lies and you're making decisions based on that, and it's just not wise. You should always do your research. You should always look through stuff, read stuff, understand things, and once you believe a lie, if you go with it, then you're with it. You're with the lie. So many men will say that they have come on my behalf. I am the Messiah, they will say. So many people will think that that is true. And that is interesting because I've seen a lot about these pastors that were saying, or people that were saying they were prophets. They were telling how the election would go. And now that that prophecy or lack of prophecy did not come true, a lot of pastors are calling them to say, hey, you need to come out and say, you need to admit that you are not a prophet, things of that nature. Because when you tell people something, people, especially who don't have their own knowledge or understanding of God, the Bible, and how God works, and you're telling them something that you're telling them as a prophecy and then it doesn't come true, that just, those people are even more misled, and they're not coming to the faith because they're just so misled by whomever they're listening to. So anyway, back to verse 6. You will hear about wars, and you will hear news about other wars. And that's what really like popped out when I'm reading this news cycle right now, is the war part. um I think that, you gotta, yes, in a way you want to take it seriously, but and then also you want to understand that God is in control. So you shouldn't be worried or anything like that. So that's why God says, make sure that you do not become worried. And I know that's very hard. That's difficult for me as a believer. It's difficult. I'm listening to this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, oh, so they struck. So Ukraine struck Russia. Russia said that mean they gonna take. They go. That's on us, like, on U.S. So we don't know what that looked like. But it's not for me to try to figure it out. It's for me to trust God and know that He's in control, and that He, whatever He allows is what's gonna happen. Another thing that's been coming to me a lot this morning, when I was hearing all these, I've been hearing all these different things, and I would just be like, you know what, Tower of Babel. Like, that's what it reminds me of, the Tower of Babel. That's what I was reading about this morning. They thought they was gonna build a tower all the way to heaven, and God was like, no, no, no. It reminds me of when this lady told me this story about the tree falling on her house, and she was telling me that, the tree had fell so far into the living room, but had it fell a little bit further, it would have been in the bedroom where they were at, or no, it fell in the bedroom or whatever, and it would have fell a little further, it would have been in the living room where they at. And I was in that moment, I was thinking, God said the tree can only fall this far. The tree can only fall this far. So when I'm listening to all these plans and rhetoric and things, I would really wish I could just jump out of it, but for some reason I'm just sucked into it for whatever reason. But I'm just gonna share this with y'all. God only gonna let the tree fall so far. People can talk about what they're going to do and run their mouth, but everybody should know in their personal experience that we done ran our mouth about something we was going to do, and God done changed that plan. That's why they say write your plan in pencil, because God has the eraser. God only going to let the tree fall so far. So if he know it ain't something that's going to serve you or align with him, he only going to let the tree fall so far. So anyway, that's why I can rest on, make sure that you do not become worried, because I know God is only going to let the tree fall so far. And he keeps reminding me of that. And that happened like a year ago. So he keeps reminding me of that. These things must happen, right? So yeah, that means that there may be wars. There may be rumors of wars. Like, it has to happen. But they do not mean the end has come. Nations will fight each other. One king's men will fight against another king's man. People will be hungry, and the earth will tremble in many places. Pain comes before a child is born, and all these events are like those pains. So this is the thing. People are telling you to be prepared and things like that, and we should be prepared, because Jesus said himself, like, this is going to happen. The wars, the rumors of wars, the hunger, the trembling of the earth, pain. It's gonna come. It's coming, right? We don't know exactly what form it's coming in, but we done got too relaxed, and we done got too complacent about God and what he's doing. And it's all coming to life. Like, I was reading this stuff before, but I'm really like, I see it now, like it's happening in front of us. So anyway, the commentary goes on to say Jesus warned the disciples that there would be many false messiahs in the future. They would tell people that God has sent them. Many people said that they were the Messiah after Jesus died, and there are false messiahs even today. So my thing is, there's a lot of people on here be like, well, God told me this, God told me that. You know what I'm saying? Well, check them. You better check it. You better check it with the Bible. Like, you don't know if them people telling you the truth. Jesus spoke about wars and terrible natural events. Such events might make people think that the world's end was near, but Jesus said that these troubles were only like the beginning of the new age. They are like pains that happen before a baby's birth. This is just the beginning. Who knows what God's plan is, but you just have to know God. You don't have to know his plan. You just need to know him, so that you can stay under his wing, under his protection, under his covering, and know that you're going to be okay. And then knowing that things are going to get bad or worse, you should understand that you have somewhere to go. You know where your refuge is. You know where your help comes from. So you know that he is not going to forsake you. He's not going to forsake those that love him and that are living for him. That is why you got to start living for him, because these times that's about to come, and I'm telling you, prior to this election and all this stuff happening, God was already telling me like that this was just the start. Like, the election's not it. The election was going to be the start. And so, that is exactly aligning with this word that he is telling, that he's saying right now, right? Pain comes before a child is born, and these events are like those pains. They are like the pain. Let's see. Where it is. But Jesus said that those troubles were only like the beginning of the new age. So I don't know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? I just know that I trust the one who created the earth and created the world. And I just want to encourage you all, talk to him. Talk to him when you're reading stuff or when you're hearing stuff about people or whatever. Before you make a judgment, talk to God, because you know what? None of us can judge another person. Nobody can point the finger at any other person without having 10 fingers pointed back at you. So get your own house in order and work out your own salvation, which are all in the Bible. Go to the Bible. Don't get the cliches and the people that's telling you this and that. I never really, sometimes I'm scrolling through messages and oh, God told me to tell, oh, don't stop because God said, no, I don't know. I talk to God myself. So I would know if he wanted me to stop, it's going to be like a word or something that's going to pop out to me that's like, oh, that sounds like something God telling me, because that's aligned with what me and God have been talking about. So please, 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 I love you, but God loves you more. Go to him, talk to him through these times, through these situations. Like I said, we've become spoiled, complacent. We thinking like, oh, like life, this is life. Okay, just be ready, because the pains are just starting. So just imagine right now where you at, and if the pains are just starting, or right now what you're seeing, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, this is bad. And then the pains are just starting. Remember that. That's what the word says. So, and that this has to happen. It has to happen. So it's not that we're going to pray it away or we're going to, it's that we're going to have the covering of the Father as we go through, because it's not that we're not, he didn't say we're not going to go through it, right? He said this world is, what is it? We're going to have tribulations in this world, but he's overcome that. So I always think back to Jesus himself. And if I'm looking at my brother Jesus and, everything he went through on earth, then I'm looking at, well, I'm no better than him. And he went through torture. You know what I mean? Extreme torture. I was listening to a Bible study the other day where they were talking about, they were going into detail. Like they had a guy who was like, he does like, I guess, talks about physical, like he's a doctor and whatever. And he was talking about how when they would hit Jesus with the whip or whatever they were hitting him with, she said a tool, but I can't remember. It would like take the skin and shred it off his back to where the skin was just like hanging. Like she went into very graphic. I had to stop it. I couldn't really listen because watching the Passions of the Christ is just enough for me to start breaking down every day. So if I think about what he went through, okay, I'm no better than him. So y'all better put on y'all full armor. Talk to God. I mean, it's the only reason I could smile. Like, who could smile through everything we're going through? You know what I mean? I got stuff going on with my personal. Well, actually, my personal life is pretty much at peace right now, but I got things going on, situations going on with people around me that got me, in prayer and down a little bit. And like right now in my own life, I'm on a hill. I'm not a valley right now. Not saying that everything is perfect in my life, but I'm in a valley. I'm in it on a hill with God, and he is just being amazing for me. And I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for you and your family. I'm thankful for me and my family. And I'm thankful for what he's going to be doing for all of the people who are around me. And I'm thankful for you when you go have this conversation with him, because it's going to lead you to a beautiful place. I mean, it's not going to fix everything in your life. It's going to give you what you need to get through this life until we go home to be with him forever. So, as Jameer would say, love and peace, love and peace and joy. Love y'all. Have a good night.